What's up, everyone? We're looking at Nitroblast, another of the Hero Factory fire villains. And at this point, I have officially decided I am going to just finish Ordeal Fire because it's technically still a CCBS theme, and I want to cover all the CCBS themes. So no Invasion from Below because all that is minifigures here. Also, I've already done Invasion from Below, and no Rise of the Rookies, so no the first series as well, because that's just using same old Bionicle system, and I really don't want to go anywhere near that. So I thought, you know what, might as well finish the Ordeal of Fire series. I mean, after all, this was the first ever series, not just Hero Factory, but all of LEGO action figures, the first ever theme slash series to use the new CCBS building system. So if you watch Jetbug or Firelord and I'm like, those are the only two villains I'm doing, well, change of plans. I'm doing all four of them. So this is Nitroblast, and then after that I will just be missing Drill Dozer. And this guy, the seller who gave me this Nitroblast, actually lives a couple blocks down from where I am. I won't say the address, obviously, for privacy reasons, but I'll just say the seller lives awfully close to me. And so it was so convenient when I bought this off eBay, and then like the dude just directly drove it to my place instead of sending it to the post office and then sending it over to me. It's so convenient. He just drove over and I'm just like, who are you? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm your seller from eBay. Here's your product. I'm like, oh, well then. So yeah, thank you, dude. So now I'm doing this video, Nitroblast. And yeah, so this is set 2194 with 57 pieces. This is a very local copy, just straight from same neighborhood as me. So here's the back, and you can see Nitroblast is facing off against Breeze 2.0, which I don't have yet. She will be coming very soon, but by the time you're watching this video, I probably already have Breeze 2.0 up. And then, yeah, so really anything else I want to show in this box? Not really. There's really nothing much in the box. Unfortunately, the box is a little squished, a little damaged, but this is what happens when you buy old sets. You can't expect it to be in like perfect condition. So, Nitroblast, let's free you from the box. What parts do you have for us, friend? Alright, here are Z parts. And then the instruction manual in here. Also, the seller that I bought this from also recently joined eBay this year, so show your support. I will leave a link to his profile in the description. And he doesn't have a lot of products he's currently selling, but he recently joined in January around the same time I joined eBay to buy all these Hero Factory sets. So please go support him. I bought this Nitroblast from him, and it's very good. So I will leave a link to his profile. Alright, first and foremost, instructions. We start off with a face-off between him and Breeze 2.0. And the villains don't have a combo, but let's see. I want to see how much he goes up. He goes 28 pages with 16 steps. Shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, shouldn't be that bad. So he's a pretty straightforward villain. It's not like those complicated Firelord villains. I think he's around the same level as Jetbug. We do have a red tube here, red hose. I don't remember seeing this on him. I guess we'll find out. Okay, red tube. I mean, if this was an accidental piece, perfect for my witch doctor, but I'm pretty sure it has a use. And then underneath here we got torso. Is your standard one, but it is in red, and it has a lot of dust. Very dusty torso. Isn't that great? Okay, this bag I'll open later. We just check out what's over here first. pour this out. Whoa! Oh, the ball's rolling, as usual. Okay, just might as well show you the ball. This is the fire spear for the spear launcher, and all the fire villains for their launchers, they have the exact same thing. Even Firelord uses this, so it's a common piece, but I really like the prints it has on it, so yeah. Okay, let's dig in. What do we have? Well, first things first, I saw these, and this definitely got my attention. This is old school Bionicle feet. Yeah, this is old Bionicle feet, the old mold. So, as you can see, they're still getting used to CCBS, so there were some parts that weren't developed yet. So that's why they had to they had to reuse some old pieces. And this one is Bionicle feet, but in red. I'm pretty sure I've seen these pieces before. I think I actually had a Bionicle figure that uses these feet. I don't know. But these are also the older spears for the launcher pieces with the extra pinhole. Later on in Breakout, they removed that extra pinhole. So these are still the old pieces. And then for bones, we got some pretty long bones. Let's see, we've got okay, so we've got this super long knee joint, 2 pinholes on each side. And then we've got just 2 of the double pinhole normal piece. I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay, and then 2 standards, 1 smallest. We've seen those before. This gray silver with a little bit of red painting on it for some reason. Knee joints. And then the rest here are red. So for red, we've got 2 of these knee joints with the extra pinhole. Oh, 3 of them. Double connector, or whatever this is called, I have no idea. And then we have 1 of the super long one with the double pinholes on each side. Alright, bones are done. 1 hand. Yes, I think, yes, Nitroblast is 1 hand. That's, again, a little unfortunate, but oh well. Gunmetal Gray Spike. And number 5's in gray, we have 4 of them. 4 of them. That's right. 1 number 3 in Gunmetal Gray, 1 Gunmetal Gray body armor, 1 black body armor, 1 of this piece, forgot what it's called, and then this is a special armor print. I think all the villains have a special armor print, and this is Nitroblast, number 5. Ta-da! Okay, and we got 3 of these. These are not the old ones, unlike Jetbug. Jetbug had the older ones. These are the new ones, thank God. And then we have 3 villain cores, 1 in Gunmetal Gray and 2 in red. And then the last things we've got these fire flame pieces for, you know, Nitroblast's flamethrower, because after all they are fire villains. And then this thing. This looks like it was taken straight out of a system set. This looks like those Bacta tanks or something. But, well, looks like they're reusing them here for the CCBS action figures. This one is in transparent red. It's actually the first time I've had these pieces. Never had this before, so it's quite an interesting piece, not gonna lie. And then, small parts, mostly made out of these Keytorn yellow spike pieces. So I'm not gonna open that. I'll open it when I build it. There's really no point in showing you it. And then the last thing here is Nitroblast's head. Very nice head mold there. It's red. And of course, because these villains are double molded, so they have 2 faces on each side, Nitroblast shares his mold with Jetbug. So you can essentially make a red Jetbug if you want. And for Jetbug, it's the same thing with Nitroblast on this side. So I'm not a big fan of these double molded heads because that's what they've been using for the fire villains. Luckily, I've already got Jetbug built up here just to show you. So here is Jetbug's head. Here is Jetbug's head, but in red. So essentially, Nitroblast is here, and here's Nitroblast, and this is the side we're using. Alright, thank you for the demonstration, Jetbug. And so, that is the head, and that is all the parts. So let's assemble Nitroblast. And here we have it, Nitroblast. And well, quite an interesting villain, I gotta say. He was very fun to build, and the back, of course, looks very raw and empty, but it's what you basically should expect from the majority of heroes and villains, or just from Hero Factory figures in general. And yeah, no, I gotta say, this guy looks pretty good. I didn't really expect him to look this good, but he has some unnecessary stuff going on. And first and foremost, I just want to immediately address his arm, his left arm, the flamethrower arm. It doesn't really need double joints, doesn't it? Like, I don't get the point of putting a long bone piece back here, putting the arm back, and having this extra bone joint here supporting this very light flamethrower that you can simply use using one as you would with a single joint. And okay, I guess you want to buff up the coverage, buff up the arm, but is it really necessary to all that friction for this one tiny flamethrower? Like, in my opinion, the whole double jointing thing, it didn't need to happen, for sure. But even with double jointing, it's just weird seeing this extra limb sticking out. And they definitely should have done one thing if they were to do double jointing, that is to at least cover it up, but they didn't, and they left it raw and open. So that means posability and just movement is very stiff here. Way too stiff and highly unnecessary that I don't even think it needs to be stiff. And it just feels like it's really hard to move and to play with. And so yeah, I don't really support this whole double jointing for this arm. If he was a really big figure, or if he was carrying a really heavy weapon instead of this light flamethrower, then yeah, go for it. By all means, please double joint to support the arm's strength. But it's not necessary for a weapon this light, and definitely not necessary when you can barely feel any weight with the actual weapon. So yeah, I don't know, but it looks okay, except if you don't look at it from this side. If you just look at it from this side, then it's actually covered up pretty well, pretty decent. So yeah, and then coverage with the body armor here with the red villain core, I think that looks pretty good. I like how he's got this canister thing back here with the hose feeding the flamethrower. I'm assuming this is probably where he gets his heat to shoot the flamethrower. I mean, he's called Nitroblast for a reason. So yeah, I like the idea of the weapon. I just don't support the double jointing of the weapon, of the arm that he has the weapon on. I really don't think that's necessary. So yeah, that's the only pet peeve I have with this figure. Alright, we've talked enough about that arm. Let's move on to the other arm. The other arm is single jointed, thank the Lord. And this arm still looks pretty decent. And you see they've used a flame piece here to act as shoulder coverage. He's got a spike here for his wrist. Okay, cool. At least when he doesn't have his shooter here, his spear shooter, he still at least has some form of a melee close combat weapon. So that's good. And of course the spear launcher is just very straightforward, very simple, not even that interesting. And well, those are the arms. And as for the main body, it's got that nice coverage. It's very simple build. I see why they are calling this the villain core, because basically all the fire villains have this imprinted on their main body. So I can see why now. I can see the legs. I don't mind the usage of the old bionicle bionicle feet. I think it's fine. In fact, it looks pretty decent on him. I think it's better if they don't use the Hero Factory CCPS feet, then that will kind of look awkward on him. I think this gives him a little more finesse. And I think this looks more appropriate on Nitroblast. Like Jetbug, there's an awful lot of spikes on the legs, and they're okay. This side is better in my opinion. Maybe it's because it's just got that single villain core, but I don't know. The legs are okay. It's kind of asymmetrical on the thighs with the special armor piece. I think that's okay. It's not too bad. And then the back, I've already showed you this is bare and it's empty. And the canister, I've showed you that as well. What have I not showed you? Alright, the head. Well, you know what? No one really cares about the open, hollow gap in between the head. The good thing is, though, you actually really can't see a Jetbug resemblance from the back, because Jetbug is actually surprisingly blended in very well, and his head isn't like that detailed. So when you look at it from the back, you can still see him, of course, but it's not really that noticeable. And I think the Nitroblast side, the proper head with the little green thermal eye patch, not iPad. I think that looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, but just don't look at Nitroblast from the side, and you'll see the huge gap he has from the neck. But these guys, after all, they're all robots, so you kind of have to not expect them to be too organic or too human-like. So this is something I can get away with, because after all, these guys are robots. So yeah, the head's fine. I think this one's a pretty decent villain. I don't know. I'm still trying to process what just his overall look. I mean, I've got a hero here, Ferno 2.0, and I just want to see how tall he is. And he's not that tall. He's not that bad. Not that bad, but definitely, he is a villain. I would say is okay. Not your number one. Your number one should be Firelord and Jetbug, but those are my subjective, kind of biased opinions. Nitroblast is okay. He still looks pretty good, and I guess this arm is pretty good. But the only problem I have with him is the double jointing. It's just unnecessary. They should have just made it a simple single joint. I'd rather get that instead. It felt kind of just it felt attempted, like the designer attempted to shove that in there, you know, just to add extra parts to increase the piece count. So yeah, that's the only part I don't really like about Nitroblast. But apart from that, he is a pretty decently looking villain, and you should consider getting him after getting Firelord. Firelord's always number one. Okay, so I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 sounds better. The double jointing is just, yeah, this is the only reason why all the points went down. Also because the back is raw and empty. Need some coverage, man. Cover the back. That's all I'm asking for. And apart from that, everything else is a-okay. Simple as that. So that's all I gotta say for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more, because we've got more Hero Factory villains on the way, and heroes and LEGO content. You know the usual. Alright, see ya. Bye.